that was the most expensive part.
It was the most expensive visa.
But then on top of that, there was a few other extras that we kind of had to do. It was one of those things where we knew it was going to be a big expense. Hi, I'm Ollie.
And I'm Lauren.
And we have recently, in the past couple of months, made the massive move over from the UK to New Zealand. My wife is a teacher, and that's kind of what got us out here. When we were looking at things like how much it would actually cost, there wasn't really a huge amount on the internet to essentially help us. Would you agree in like getting like an overall finalised cost and kind of budgeting for it?
I think everyone's story is very different.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think sometimes there were certain costs that some people might have paid and we might have paid a little bit extra. So we're kind of going to do a breakdown of what it's cost us for the route that we have taken because of my job. So we will start basically right from the beginning, what we paid for, and basically all the way to the end. So we'll be breaking it up into each section to give you like an overall vision of what we've kind of spent all together and, you know, the process of it and how it, and basically we're going to go from there. After I got the job, I had to do something called an NZQA, which is basically to verify my qualifications over here in New Zealand and compare them to the level of what they are in the UK. So that was one thing, and the first thing that we did, which cost us around £350, something like that.
Yeah.
Ollie did all of that. Finance a bit. So.
Yeah, it was around about £350, which I think was about $750 to $800, and all it was to do was just to essentially verify your degrees, right, from the UK.
Yeah, pretty much, and just to see what level they're at compared to New Zealand, because it's different, and that basically determined my pay of what I would get. And then basically the next step was teacher registration. Which was roughly around the same amount as the same as the NZQA, which again was about £350, which is about $750, 800 New Zealand dollars. And basically it's just like a licence, like you have in the UK, you have to have a teacher licence. Here, unfortunately, you do have to pay for it. Well, that was the process that we went through, but now they've actually stopped that and it's actually now free. So if you're coming over as a teacher, you know, it's not something that you have to have as an extra cost, so it's not an extra £350 or so much out of your pocket, which is actually really good. Basically, my recruiter broke it down into 4 different stages. Yeah. But during them stages, like my teacher registration, I had to get a lot of documents certified.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah, I think we thought we needed, I forgot what it was called now.
Was it a Justice of Peace?
Something like that, and then it turned out we just needed to verify every document. It just needed a stamp off a solicitor, which was £5 per document, and I think roughly we spent about £100 on that. Yeah. Because when it got to our visa, which we will speak about in a little bit, we obviously had to get your passport certified, and the little girl's certified as well. So we've, you know, and then mine, and then there's all my qualifications and just stuff like that. So we had to get that certified, and like I said, it cost us around £100 altogether. Every solicitor is different, so it could be different where you are as well, depending where you are in the world. So
we went for a straight to residency visa. I'm not too sure whether you have to do all like super verify everything like what we did, but it could be different. But I know that we had to just do absolutely everything. And
the reason we got a straight to residency visa is because we had the right, because of my job, because my job was a tier 1 on the tier 1 green list. It was the most expensive visa, but that was because obviously we've come as a family of 3, we've got a little girl.
So yeah, the visa was the most expensive part throughout the entire process. Mm-hmm. In dollars, it was 6,450 New Zealand dollars.
Roughly, something like that. Maybe a bit of change.
Maybe some change. It had to be in dollars just because it was on Immigration New Zealand's website. So we were relying heavily on the bank's exchange rate that we had at the time. So I think the exact number that we managed to find from the bank was £2,816.72p. I think I've remembered that right. But again, it could fluctuate a few pounds because depending on your bank, and if you pay for your bank account, you could get some better perks in terms of exchange rate. But that was the most expensive part. But then on top of that, there was a few other extras that we kind of had to do.
Yeah, that kind of popped up that we didn't realise at the time when we was going through the visa, and we spoke to basically someone from my recruitment agency, and they said, oh, you need to get this done and you need to get this done, and those things was like a medical, and then there was other documents that we had to get certified, which obviously we've previously spoken about, but the one that cropped up, that it does make sense now.
Yeah, now that we've done it, it kind of does make a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah, that we did our medical. So our medical was, we all had to have one. Just give you a quick overview of what it was. It was just a chest x-ray. We had to basically pee in a cup, and basically a doctor just checked our eyesight, our ears, and checking for glands and things like that.
Potential other previous kind of medical conditions. So if you were like in hospital or something, and you had like, you know, a heart attack, you'd have to kind of declare all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I wear glasses, I had to do maybe a potentially different eye test.
Yeah, I think you did actually when we spoke about it. I was like, oh, I didn't do that, and I think you ended up doing
so
something.
I had to read a couple of things. I had to read something from afar because I'm short-sighted and I wear glasses all the time because of my job. And then I had to read something like quite close up because I wear my glasses all the time, so I had to read like a book. But yeah, we were very lucky. We lived in London, and there's only a few places that actually do it in the UK.
Because unfortunately you do have to go, it has to be done privately and by someone that New Zealand immigration actually
kind of endorse.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think there's 30 all over the country. Three of us had one done. Obviously the 2-year-old didn't have the chest x-ray and PP in the cup. She was just checked all over. So the amount for that was £350 each for the adults. Yeah, and for the little one, I think it was £70 or £80.
I think it was £80. So that was like another circa £800
on top of the amount we've already paid for the visa, which we didn't realise. But I do understand why they do it. So
and it came back pretty quick.
Yeah, like within 48 hours it come back for us.
We were like, it was rapid. I mean, by the time we'd finished the appointment, they'd done the tests on PP in a cup time, and I was like,
yeah, and then we could leave.
And then we could pretty much leave. So we were done, and then the X-rays came back like 2 days later, and that was pretty rapid. So the expense in my mind, I was like, well, we paid for like a really rapid service, and I guess you go down the private route for just that, just because you obviously get it back, and because it's on such a small time constraint, because we were starting to get a little bit nervous about everything.
But then obviously once we got our medical done, that's when we could basically then send off our visa, fully send off. We ended up paying for an immigration lawyer just to get us over that line, just because our visa come back. We just needed basically reassurance and things like that. So we spoke to them, and then we spoke to each other and said, you know what, let's pay them. So that was £400, yeah, which to me was well worth it. It seems really expensive. To be honest, we wish we did it from the beginning, because they get full control of everything, and you sort of can sit back and don't need to panic and things like that. So they're definitely, that's going to be more expensive. We understand that, but we wish we probably did that from the beginning.
100%.
We did quite well, to be fair, but then that basically pushed us over the line. Obviously we didn't book flights until our visa come back, and our visa come back actually on our little girl's second birthday, which was a great second birthday present for her, even though she doesn't understand. And then we was like, okay, let's book our flights, which was the next most expensive thing, which I'm going to give to you, because again, we deal with all that as well.
Yeah, so we obviously sat down and had a look at the flights. Now, there was a bit of turmoil on what we wanted to do. I'm glad we chose the flights that we did. We obviously put our little girl's kind of comfort at the forefront of our minds. So it was more a case of the choices that we had, and there was only two. It was like, right, do we have a really small layover and just get it out of the way, or do we just kind of stop for a longer period of time and just have a big reset? We went with the latter. So we stopped over in Hong Kong.
16 hours?
Yeah, which was actually really quite nice.
Stayed in a hotel.
Stayed in a hotel overnight, which was another £100.
Yeah, for a day. So it was the daytime, but to us we were still in night time, because we were still in the UK time. So we stayed for like 12 hours, so it was like 9 till 9, and like Ollie just said, it cost us £100.
But we got our heads down.
For a few hours, and then it was in the airport, so we had like the roam of the airport, like restaurants, food, shops, things like that. So that was quite useful, and we didn't have to panic about finding it, especially with the little one. A little bit of an extra cost there, but that was obviously down to choice. And like I said at the beginning, everyone has different stories, everyone has different journeys of getting here. This is obviously just an overview of our journey. But actually getting onto the price of the flights, which
I think that was just a touch under 3,050. So I just rounded it up because of the change. It was 3,050 Great British pounds. And to be honest, it was quite comfy. It was one of those things where we knew it was going to be a big expense. If you want to take the stays out of it, when we were here, then it's roughly £13,000, and I think we were in a fortunate position because we were both back in the UK. We were both working full time, but also we had a big chunk of savings because back in the UK, prior to us coming out here, we were thinking of potentially buying an apartment or a flat, whatever you want to call it, or a property back in the UK, and that was essentially our deposit money. So we were in a very fortunate position that we just basically said bye-bye to that, and we're just going to use that as our get out there money. I understand that some people aren't fortunate enough to have that, so I get it, but that's what we kind of used, and we were very, very lucky to have that. But it also did mean that we kind of blew all of it.
Can I just say that every penny that we've spent has been absolutely worth it. 100%. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't go back and think, I shouldn't have spent that, or we shouldn't have spent this. I think every penny that we spent, because of the life we have here.
So I think the next video that we're probably going to do, and we'll try and do more of these,
will be basically why we moved here, the reasons we moved out here from the UK, and why we chose basically New Zealand, and what New Zealand actually has to offer for young families. And if you're that type of person to move out here, then you know what, life is too short, let's go with it. 100%. You never know what's around that corner, and I think that things happened in our life that made us take that jump a lot quicker, and really think about it quickly, rather than going, we'll wait till next year, when we just jumped in with 2 feet and thought, do you know what, let's go for it. So
definitely look for the next video, and that'll be like Lauren said, the big reason why, or the big reasons, because there's a lot. So
thanks guys,
see you in the next one.
Bye.